New year, new life. When you discovered that 1 in 3 young people in your city dreams of easy money, you decided it was time to improve that statistic. But how do you become the supreme boss of a cartel as fast as possible? Welcome to the most dangerous speedrun of your life. First, let's understand the game mechanics. A cartel is a hierarchical criminal organization dedicated to trafficking illegal substances where power is measured in controlled territory, bought loyalties, and eliminated enemies. To reach the top, you need to climb from the lowest level to the bloodstained throne. The average path takes decades, but you don't have decades. You have unbridled ambition and 0 patience. Level 1. The Hawk. Month 1 to 3. You start at the bottom of the ladder. They hire you to watch corners, write down patrol car plates, and send WhatsApp messages when you see suspicious movement. They pay you in crumpled cash and empty promises. The pay is miserable, like $200 a week, but hey, it's your entry point. During these first months, your job is to prove you're invisible to authorities, but visible to your superiors. You arrive early, stay late, never question orders. You're employee of the month in the business where there is no employee of the month. Here comes your first important buff: blind loyalty. Never, ever, under any circumstances, talk to the police, not even to give them the time. Your mouth is a tomb and your cell phone a black hole of information. Snitches last less than an iPhone without a case. You need to build your reputation as someone trustworthy, because in this business, trust is the only currency that's truly worth anything. Well, that and $100 bills. Level 2. The Mule. Month 4 to 8. Congratulations, you've been promoted. Now you transport the product. They give you a beat-up car, mental maps of safe routes, and the responsibility of moving packages from point A to point B without getting caught. Each trip is Russian roulette with the authorities. Your heart beats like a Sinaloan band drum every time you see red and blue lights in the rearview mirror. But you keep going because the pay went up to $1,000 per successful delivery. The key in this phase is productive paranoia. You constantly change routes, never use the same vehicle twice in a row, and learn to read police body language from 100 meters away. You develop a sixth sense for detecting checkpoints. It's like the Matrix, but instead of dodging bullets, you dodge inspection points. You also learn the golden rule. If they catch you, the product isn't yours, you don't know where it comes from or where it's going. You're just a lost driver with really bad luck. To accelerate your rise, you need the ultimate power-up. Accept the routes no one wants. Night deliveries in hot zones, trips on highways where rival groups control territory. Greater risk means greater reward and, more importantly, greater visibility to the bosses. Every impossible delivery you complete is a recommendation letter written with adrenaline. Level 3. The Hitman. Month 9 to 18. This is where things get intense. You've proven you can move product. Now you need to prove you can protect it. They hand you your first real weapon, not that rusty pistol you inherited from your uncle. We're talking tactical equipment, bulletproof vests, and a salary that finally lets you stop living with your mom. We're talking $5,000 a month plus bonuses for special jobs. Your job now is simple in theory, impossible in practice. You protect shipments, collect debts, send forceful messages to anyone who gets too smart. I'm not going to romanticize this part because this is where most people lose their soul if they had any left. You sleep with one eye open because enemies are everywhere. Rival groups, internal traitors, corrupt authorities who want a bigger bite. Your life expectancy drops drastically, but your bank account finally has more than 3 zeros. The trick to surviving this phase is brutal efficiency. You don't go overboard, you don't enjoy it, you just follow orders. Hitmen who last are those who treat this like a job, not like a video game. You keep a low profile on social media, 0 photos with stacks of bills, nothing with gold chains the size of your head. Ostentation attracts attention, and attention attracts bullets. Level 4. Plaza Boss. Month 19 to 30. The moment you were waiting for. You're no longer the muscle, now you're the brains behind the muscle. They assign you a plaza, a territory where you decide who sells, who collects, who lives. You coordinate operations, negotiate with local authorities, resolve internal disputes. Your base salary goes up to $15,000 a month, but tips from local business protection can easily triple that. This is the most political phase of the speedrun. You need to balance loyalty upward with respect downward. Your subordinates must fear you enough to obey you, but respect you enough not to betray you. It's a delicate balance, like juggling grenades. You learn that real power doesn't come from violence, but from controlling violence. Any crazy person can pull a trigger, but it takes strategy to know when to do it and when not to. Here you implement your rapid expansion strategy. You identify weak plazas in rival territories, zones where the authority of the opposing group is fractured. You send scouts, make temporary alliances with malcontents from the other side, plan precise incursions. Each plaza you conquer is another step toward the top. But careful, each new territory is also a new battlefront to defend. The perfect fuel for this stage is systematic corruption. You have a parallel payroll where there are police officers, prosecutors, judges, and local politicians. You pay them better than their official salary, and in exchange, you get operational impunity. It's like buying a game's season pass, except here the season never ends and payments are monthly. Your bribery budget can reach $50,000 a month, but it's a necessary investment. A well-paid officer is worth more than 10 hitmen. Level 5. Regional Lieutenant, month 31 to 48. You no longer manage one plaza, you manage an entire state. You supervise multiple plaza bosses, coordinate international distribution routes, negotiate directly with suppliers in South American countries. Your monthly income easily exceeds $250,000. You have properties in the names of fronts, legitimate businesses to launder money, and a permanent escort of 20 armed men. But with great power comes great justified paranoia. At this level, your enemies aren't just rival groups anymore. Now they include other lieutenants within your own organization who see your rise as a threat. The current boss has you under surveillance because he knows you could replace him. Federal authorities finally noticed your existence, and there's an investigation file with your name on it. Your own subordinates could sell you out if the offer is tempting enough. The meta strategy in this phase is criminal diversification. Don't limit yourself to just traditional trafficking. You expand operations to high-profile kidnapping, extortion of large companies, human trafficking, fuel theft. It's like having multiple income streams, except they're all federal felonies. You also establish ghost cells, operations that others manage but that report to you indirectly. If one falls, it doesn't directly splash on you. This is where you implement the most controversial buff, social legitimization. You build schools in poor communities, pave streets the government forgot, give out food baskets during Christmas. You become the local Robin Hood, even though you steal much more than you give away. The civilian population becomes your human shield, your early warning system, and your best propaganda. When authorities come for you, people take to the streets to block roads because you just paid for someone's grandmother's chemotherapy. Level 6. The final blow. Month 49 to 60. It's time for the definitive move. The current boss is weak, sick, paranoid, or simply too confident. You've built secret alliances with other discontented lieutenants, you have financial backing saved in international accounts, and you know all the dirty secrets of the organization. You plan the coup with surgical precision. There are 3 classic routes to take power. Route 1, the kidnapping. You kidnap the boss and force him to cede control, or simply eliminate him and assume command by force. It's quick but bloody, generates internal resistance, and can fragment the organization. Route 2, the pacted betrayal. You negotiate with authorities or rival groups to hand over the current boss in exchange for operational freedom for you. It's less violent but marks you as a traitor, which damages your long-term reputation. Route 3, the natural relay. You wait for the boss to die of natural causes or get arrested and simply assume the power vacuum because you already control most of the infrastructure. For true speedrunners, Route 1 is the only viable option. One night, when the boss is at his favorite ranch surrounded by his inner circle, you execute the plan. Your men, infiltrated for months in his security, turn at the precise moment. In less than 15 minutes, the former boss is neutralized and you send simultaneous messages to all plaza bosses. There's new leadership. Whoever opposes shares the fate of the previous one. Most accept because they recognize that fighting you is operational suicide. Level 7. The Bloodstained Throne. Month 60 onward. You did it. You're the top boss. You control distribution routes that move tons monthly. You have 1,000 men under your direct command, and your accumulated wealth exceeds $500 million. You live in fortresses disguised as ranches, travel in armored convoys, and never sleep 2 nights in the same place. But here's the cruel paradox of the speedrun. You reached the top in 5 years, when it took others 20. That means you didn't have time to build the deep loyalties that sustain criminal empires. Your rise was so fast that you left enemies on every rung. The hawks you passed over hate you. The hitmen you eliminated have vengeful families. The lieutenants you betrayed are planning your downfall. And then there's the true final boss of this speedrun, time itself. The bosses who lasted decades did it because they were patient, because they built resilient structures, because they knew when to fight and when to negotiate. You arrived fast, but your foundations are flimsy. The statistics are brutal. Bosses who rise in less than 10 years rarely last more than 3 in power. They either end up murdered by rivals, betrayed by their inner circle, or arrested because authorities finally gathered enough evidence. You sleep with an AK-47 under your pillow and 5 bodyguards outside your door. Every meal could be poisoned, every call could be traced, every ally could be an informant. You've won the speedrun, but lost everything else. You can't trust anyone, you can't go out freely, you can't have genuine relationships. Your children live abroad with false identities because being your family is a death sentence. And the darkest reality of all, there's no retirement in this business. You can't just quit and open a grocery store. You know too much, you control too much, you hurt too many. The only way out is in a pine box or in a maximum security cell. You've speedrun your way to the top of a pyramid built on corpses, stained money, and bought loyalties. So there you are, in your fortified ranch, surrounded by luxuries you can't enjoy and power you can't freely exercise. You completed the speedrun in record time, 5 years from Hawk to Capo. But as you count, your money stained with blood and paranoia, you realize you want a crown that weighs like a tombstone. The only record you really set was how fast you can destroy your own humanity. At the end of the day, remember, you got there fast and you'll fall even faster. That's the real speedrun, not how long it takes you to climb up, but how long it takes you to crash down. Welcome to the game. The credits are already rolling and the ending is already written. It's just a matter of time before your turn comes.